On today's video, I wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking about the Boston Red Sox, who made a lot of news this week as it relates to contract extensions, particularly with two players that they expect to play starring roles on the 2025 roster. So the Red Sox are off to a 2-4 start. Of course, there's still plenty of time, but the biggest news concerned infielder Kristian Campbell and starting pitcher Garrett Crochet. The Red Sox announced this week that they have signed Kristian Campbell to an 8-year deal that is worth approximately $60 million. Campbell's stock has been rising for quite a while now. He was the 132nd overall pick of the 2023 MLB draft, and then in his first full season in the Red Sox minor leagues, put up a very strong .330 batting average. That production led to a WRC plus of 180, which is outstanding for a player of his age and his caliber. So the Red Sox gave him a big look in spring training this past year. Didn't go that well in spring training. However, he was in the opening day lineup against the Texas Rangers in Arlington, and performed very well. He hit .375 over his first 5 games, and the Red Sox are clearly very excited about this guy. They announced that they have agreed to this $60 million extension, which I think is personally an incredible deal. It's incredible value for the kind of player that he could be if they really expect it. And let's be honest, this is so good for the Red Sox that even if he isn't that kind of player, even if he does struggle, what is it? Only $8 million a year? That's not a big problem financially for the Red Sox, who have a lot of resources, being the big market, large market team that they are. So even if it goes wrong, they're protected. But if it goes right, then it's an incredible bargain. I mean, this is just all the way good news for the Boston Red Sox from a roster and financial point of view, and for the player too. I mean, this is a player who, again, was in high A to start the season last year. If you had told him that $60 million would be on the table for him barely a year later, I think he would have been thrilled to sign it. He was undrafted. He redshirted as a freshman. His story, I think, is one that makes him a lot more susceptible to these kind of maybe overtures from the team, because the team is clearly intent on locking up these young, talented, long-term contributors. They want to do it as early as they could, and they definitely did that here. So for Campbell, I can't fault the guy. This is a lot of money. $60 million is a lot of money for anybody. For you, me, him, it's a lot of money. I'm so glad that he's able to get paid like this, because clearly based on his performance and on his track record so far, he's worth it. The question being, what can he do going forward? But again, it's a win-win for the Red Sox, even if it goes poorly. It's such a talented player, and it's somebody who they expect to be anchoring their middle infield for years to come. So that's Kristian Campbell. Good news for him, good news for the team. Garrett Crochet, also good news for him, good news for the team. The team is getting him, remember, they're only getting him this year for $3.8 million, which is incredible. This was his second to last year of arbitration. So the Red Sox are buying out, because this contract doesn't officially begin until the 2026 season. So the Red Sox are buying out 1 year of arbitration, his final year, and then an additional 4 free agent years. So it's a very good deal for the Red Sox. From that point of view, they have roster certainty now. They know who is going to be in that rotation, provided he stays healthy. They know that he'll be the ace going forward. Crochet is one of those guys that they traded for this past winter. They traded 4 prospects, including catcher Kyle Teal, to the Chicago White Sox. And you knew right then and there that they were going to make all kinds of efforts to lock him up, because when you give away that many prospects, especially someone as highly touted as Teal, you don't give him up for nothing. You have a plan to extend the guy long term. Otherwise, you don't give up those players. Maybe you then are more aggressive on someone like Max Fried or Blake Snell on the free agent market. But this worked for the Red Sox. It worked all the way around. One other thing I would say, Craig Breslow is a former pitcher. He's the general manager. He's the president of baseball ops. Breslow is tying a lot of his success now to the performance of Garrett Crochet, who looks really good so far. Let's just be honest. It's 2 starts, but he looks really good against the stout Baltimore lineup, pitching 8 innings. Fantastic outing against the Baltimore Orioles. The opening day start in Texas against the Rangers was okay, but it was just 1 game. This guy looks like he has the presence to be an ace. He's 6'6", he's really a big guy, intimidating presence out there. The Red Sox are really lucky to have someone like this now on their staff for the next couple seasons. They know what they're going to be paying him. It's a good deal for him. The Red Sox are not cheaping out here either. I mean, not cheaping out at all. For a player with this kind of service, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I mean, he's shattering a lot of the records of players who were in that 5 to 6 year service bracket, and they're not cheaping out. They couldn't. Crochet was not going to sign unless they were going to pay him this kind of dollar, and it looks like they have now come to terms on that. So good news for the Red Sox. Good news for them on two fronts here as it relates to these long-term contract extensions with players that they feel very good about, helping them contend for a playoff spot. In terms of that playoff spot, I know it's so early, but they are 2-4. Little bit of a slow start. The Rafael Devers thing has been a little bit of a distraction. In Baltimore last night, he was much better, drove in a run, got on the board, stopped striking out as much as he was. Clearly there's a couple of things still to work out with the Red Sox, but they have to be very excited about having these two players. And again, we'll talk more about the Red Sox and their 2-4 start. They are going to play the final game in Baltimore here in just a couple minutes, so that'll hopefully make things look a little bit better. We'll talk more about that as well as the other 4 AL East teams, how they're doing to this point in the season, and we'll break down the second series of the season for all of them on our next video tomorrow. Until then, this has been another edition of the American League East Recap.